Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a story of incredible contrasts. We're embarking on a cinematic exploration of an archipelago where absolutely breathtaking, picture-perfect beauty meets raw, unrelenting power.
I mean, just picture it in your mind. You've got sweeping, sapphire waters, lush green peaks, literally the absolute epitome of a Caribbean dream. But what happens when an island paradise hides a sleeping giant? It's a profound contrast, because right beneath the surface of this tranquil, tropical haven lies the terrifying, earth-shattering power of an active volcano.
And we aren't just talking about one isolated plot of land here. 32. That is the sheer scale of this nation. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is this vast archipelago stretching across the eastern Caribbean Sea, made up of 32 distinct islands and cays. From the rugged, imposing main island all the way down to tiny sandy outcrops, it's pretty much the perfect, dramatic backdrop for our story. So, let's jump right into Part 1, History Forged in Fire. Long before European ships ever appeared on the horizon, the indigenous Kalinago people called this main island Ulu Main. And they named it that to honor Uluka, the spirit of the rainbows, who they truly believed lived right there on the island. It really shows this deep, profound connection to the natural, atmospheric elements of the land that they so fiercely protected. But, of course, that peace was eventually shattered. The arrival of European colonizers sparked decades of just fierce, bloody resistance from the indigenous Garifuna people, an Afro-Indigenous population. The French actually settled first in 1719, and they brought enslaved Africans to work their plantations. Then, by 1763, the British swept in and took formal control. All this mounting tension eventually exploded into open conflict with the First Carib War in 1772, followed by the absolutely grueling Second Carib War in 1795. The aftermath of all that was just devastating. In 1797, after the British defeated Paramount Chief Joseph Chattoyer, they deported nearly 5,000 Garifuna people, forced away from their lush homeland to distant shores like Roatan and Belize. It was this massive, tragic uprooting that, quite literally, altered the soul of the island forever. Moving on to Part 2, The Long Road to Freedom. When you look at the people who call this place home today, it's honestly like looking at a living map of human survival. 66% of the nation is of African descent, descendants of those who survived the horrors of the transatlantic slave trade. But there's also this profound mix, 19% mixed, 6% East Indian, 4% European. Every single piece of this demographic makeup represents shiploads of human beings converging on these islands under some of the most extraordinary circumstances imaginable. Now, the British finally abolished slavery in 1834, which broke the physical chains, sure, but the colonial plantations? They still demanded relentless labor. So from 1845 to 1888, new waves of workers arrived, this time through indentured servitude. You had thousands of Portuguese Catholic settlers coming all the way from Madeira, followed by shiploads of Indian laborers. So the island's modern identity was literally being woven together from continents apart. Okay, let's get into Part 3, Rhythms of Modern St. Vincent. The political journey toward true self-determination was completely relentless. 1951 was a huge turning point with universal adult suffrage. Then, by 1969, the island achieved associate statehood, finally giving them control over their own internal affairs. And the big moment, October 27, 1979. St. Vincent and the Grenadines gained full independence, officially becoming a sovereign nation. They had finally taken their destiny back into their own hands. And let me tell you, this newly independent nation quickly proved that it punches massively above its weight on the global stage. Culturally, it's an absolute powerhouse for soca, calypso, and traditional big drum music. Visually, its stunning landscapes actually captivated the world when it served as a filming location for the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And diplomatically, get this, in 2019, it made history by becoming the smallest nation ever elected to the UN Security Council. How incredible is that? We also saw the modern pulse of this country on full display at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Shafika Maloney achieved a truly historic milestone, placing fourth in the women's 800-meter run. That made her the very first Vincentian athlete to ever reach the final stage of an Olympic event. It was a massive triumph, and really, it stands as a powerful symbol of the nation's limitless potential. Which brings us to our final part, a resilient island paradise. 1812, 1902, where over 1,500 people tragically lost their lives. 1979, and most recently 2021. That right there is the timeline of La Soufriere's fury. Just imagine dark, ash-clouded skies completely blotting out the Caribbean sun. The agriculture, the economy, the literal daily lives of Vincentians are constantly shadowed by this highest peak on the island. It's a sleeping giant that absolutely demands respect. During that explosive eruption in April 2021, an astounding 16,000 people had to be evacuated from their homes as ash was blasted miles into the atmosphere. But honestly, what's truly remarkable here isn't just the emergency itself. It's the incredible solidarity, the rapid response from neighboring islands, and the just unwavering resilience of the citizens who faced down a volcano's wrath and survived.
Pax et Justitia, peace and justice. That's the official motto of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this to think about. How does an island nation, one forged in the violent fires of colonialism and the literal earth-shattering eruptions of an active volcano, continue to stand so remarkably strong? Somehow, it doesn't just survive, it thrives under the enduring banner of peace and justice. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep exploring.